The companies running gas stations and setting those prices at the pump, these are not normal times. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you are paying for the product. Do it now. Do it today. Your customers, the American people, they need relief now.
I think our judgment in real time proved to be incorrect, but it was not an irrational judgment, and it was one that was very widely held at the time by other central banks and economists generally. But it wasn't about economics. It was, how long is this going to last? Are these things that are happening to our economy, which are unprecedented, are they going to get better? Like, for example, millions of people dropping out of the labor force, or the problems we have with the global supply chains. There was no model of that. We can't look at the last 20 times it happened. So for sure, in hindsight, it was not transitory.
The average gas price is hovering around $5 a gallon. And yesterday, the president called for Congress to suspend the federal gas tax. But even some Democrats are against that plan. And the Congressional Research Service estimate it would save the typical U.S. family only about $13 a month. Now, I know any little bit helps, but is this the only lever the president has left to pull right now? Are there other plans in motion to get immediate relief to families that are struggling to keep up with rising prices?
And, you said something Sarah, that's so important. Anything helps. So what the president did yesterday and announced was something that he believed was straightforward and simple, is to suspend the federal gas tax and give that gas tax holiday to the American people. Right now, American people need relief at the pump. And this is for 3 months, 90 days that we're asking, while we're seeing this uptake of folks driving wherever they need to this summer.
With the president's handling of inflation and the economy hitting lows in recent polls, how do you make the case to voters that his economic policies are working, that it's not his fault, that inflation is a worldwide problem, that the gas prices are not Joe Biden's fault? How do you do that?
Well, you just said it, Joy, which is what we're seeing with gas prices, what we're seeing with inflation, even the cost of food going up. It is a global challenge. And a lot of that is connected to Russia's war. And if we think about it, let's step back for a second. When the president walked into the White House over a year ago, the economy was tanking.
The national security, the energy security implications of Putin's war cannot be overstated. The geopolitical realignments that are happening as a result are momentous. So it is a really turbulent time for all of us, but we have to stay focused because these crises have a common solution, of course, which is clean energy.
I always noticed how Peter Doocy from Fox News gave Jen a hard time. He asks questions that are directly given to him from Fox. Have you had to swat him down much yet? How are you handling the disingenuous and ridiculous takes when you're up there trying to do your job and inform the public?
So can I say, Joy, and I say this sincerely, the fact that I'm standing here on the White House North Lawn, in the booth, the ABC booth, talking to all of you is an honor.
Let me ask you about some specific proposals. Some the White House is already behind, some they might get behind. Number one, a gas tax holiday. Is that something you support?
Look, I'm deeply, deeply sympathetic to the fact that families are paying a lot at the pump. But I always remind myself on this that the last time that a barrel of oil cost what it costs right now, that gasoline itself was about $1.50 cheaper at the pump. So a big part of this is about concentration in the oil industry and price gouging. But the president is trying to deal with these problems directly. And I think that's the right way to go about it. I think what we should be doing, instead of trying to get short-term pieces in, is we need to look at the longer arc of what drives prices. And when it's price gouging, then we need to give our administration more tools to deal with it. When it's that we don't have enough workers, then let's get childcare out there. We get 1.2 million women into the workforce if they had childcare. We've got a lot of tools at our disposal. Those are the tools we need to be using.
Is that a yes or no on the gas tax holiday?
So, look, that's not the approach I would use. Okay. I would use a more systemic approach.